Thank God it's Friday. Welcome to Your View. I am Murayo Afolabi Brown. As always, I have the ladies today. Today in TVC, we're celebrating Cultural Diversity Day. And we're participating in this with the entire staff of TVC, where everybody's coming to work today in their cultural attire. So, how you doing, White Girl in the building?
Good morning.
Good to see you.
I'm fine.
I know you got the memo late because you'd have probably come in a regalia, but you're still, you're an institution on your own. I would say that you...
This is the modern, traditional, so I'm cool.
Afrocentric.
I actually always wear traditional anyway. So.
Right. So, good to have you. Any gist for us?
Gist? Well, I watched I need to say this thing. I watched a documentary on TVC, Community Forum, and they were talking about this village in Delta State, Selewu, this town in Delta, Selewu, and the what the oil spillage and the drainage of oil has done to that village was so sad. There was a 79-year-old man who remembers when they could still fish from the water. When the water was still deep, you know, and he was crying, and I was crying along with him, you know. And
it's something we really need to look into going forward, especially we need to continue to talk about it.
Yeah.
Let me introduce you. Hello, you guys are looking very cultural.
Thank you.
Obiajulo in the building.
Thank you.
So tell us what you're wearing today.
Okay, so I'm the Southeast princess, so to speak. Normally, I would have just tied a white cloth, you know, round my chest and wear adorned with my beads. But you know, we are on TV, we don't have to show everything, but that's how we dress in my place. And then you can decorate your hair, and sometimes you can switch it up with a gele on. But I didn't want to have that gele. And then I borrowed the nose ring from her tribe, just to mix up things. How am I looking?
Very beautiful, I must say. Very beautiful.
Nice. Oga has to come and pay bride price again, in dollars, this time around.
Maria, what are you wearing?
Oh, I'm wearing, what could I say? We're wearing the Fulani attire.
Okay.
So it's usually, it's actually a mixture. It's even more modernized than before.
Right.
So I'm wearing this blue,
Right.
whatever at the bottom. Many people wear it. Do not just the Fulanis, Kanuris also wear it. And then I wore the traditional nose ring. So you remember that tiny skinny one that we wore? And it became
caused a stir on
World
social
War
media.
III. So this is what would have, this is what
The
it
real one.
started from. In fact, there are bigger ones than these. So it just shows that we're just trying to celebrate our culture and then even be more aware of why some of these things that we use, where they come from, and you know, and how to use them.
Right.
Originating in
Because
Africa.
people do not understand what they don't, they condemn what they do not understand. So when they see somebody with the nose ring on television, they seem to criticize, oh, why are she wearing the nose ring? But the truth is that it's part of our culture, and we need to begin to know more about diverse culture. We're so focused on this our small cocoon, especially in our little tribes, Lagos, and in the cities. But there's so much going on out there. So you look really beautiful, Maria.
Thank you.
And
you look gorgeous.
I'm looking, I am Yayawo type of. I'm telling you, this is the Yayawo outfit.
That's that Mariah has missed parties.
I'm going to my first party tomorrow. I can't wait.
Oh, God.
I forgot to call her that. I have to call her because, man, I'm doing my first party post-COVID.
Please
so,
wear your mask.
Wear the shield. Wear the shield. I'm going to.
No, you have to wear everything complete.
This is Yoruba Yayawo outfit.
It looks good.
And we are celebrating. So, by God's grace, my daughter will get married, and I'll wear this one too. In future. Much more. During that time.
It will be maybe gold threads.
We would love to celebrate, but you know what? There's a lot of bad news out there. A lot of bad news out there. But either way, we're going to go on a break. We'll be right back. Stay with us over here. Okay, let's start with the nation. Stalemate in government labor talks on petrol and power prices. Kogi explosion death toll now 30. Picture here of Kwara State Governor Abdurrahman Abdurrazak. No, let me take that again. Kwara State Governor Abdurrahman doing his assessment of the houses in the state. Malami turns down Salami panel invitation. Kama enacted to strengthen anti-graft war, says Buhari. and Ekiti. APC suspends Buhari's aide, Ojodu, and 10 others. Okay. Stalemate, yes, please.
So government and Labour had a meeting yesterday, and it looks like, as the headline says, they've come to, no agreement. So the government is saying that, well, we had a meeting with Labour and we're trying to explain to them, we do not have 50 billion every 30 days to pay to power generating companies. And then these are monies that would have gone to salaries to be doing that. They also said that they are talking to make sure that our refineries are up and running, and that to also revert the tariffs for electricity would amount to policy somersault. That's not something that they can do now. But they are talking about different palliative measures that they may be able to come up with to cushion the effect. Right. Labour is saying, well, as far as we're concerned, this is not good to us because you just increased salaries to 30,000, and now we have the prices of petrol has gone up, electricity has gone up. So the 30,000 you have given people is almost nothing, so that is where we are right now.
Okay, moving on to, we're going to be talking about a bit later, if Nigerians agree with the strike action that's planned by Labour. We'll talk about that a bit later, but let's go into the Daily Sun. Agony in Lagos as gas explosion wreaks havoc. Uncertainty as court stops planned Labour strike. Kama law will ensure transparency, says Buhari. Presidency disowns Amechi on $1.9 billion rail line to Niger Republic. Masob, Southeast youth back out of IPOB sitters home directive. Okay, the explosion that happened in Lagos yesterday was really, really sad.
Really sad story. It happened at Iju Ishaga, Iju Ajunwo, Ifako Ijai area. And according to the story, the gas tanker was about getting into the gas plant when it exploded, and it affected about 30 persons. 30 persons were injured. We've not had any death story till now. And houses were destroyed as well. Cars were destroyed. They said it was, according to one story, it was just about to enter the gas plant and fell into a ditch and then exploded. Another story said they were actually, about 2 of the trucks were offloading already, and then there was a spillage happening with their...
What happened is that his cock had come off, his safety, so the gas guy said, no, I cannot take it from you. I don't want the gas. So he turned back in annoyance. The car fell into a ditch.
And then the explosion happened.
All right.
So investigations are ongoing. Lasema responded immediately. And
we'll be getting updates on that in a few moments.
Let me take one more story.
Yes, go ahead, please.
So the Nigeria is not actually constructing rail lines all the way to Niger Republic. So that headline saying that. So the senior special assistant to the president, Garba Shehu, now explained further. He says the rail line would go all the way to the border towns between Nigeria and Niger Republic. And it will go through Kano, Dutse, Katsina, and then the border Tamaradi in Niger Republic. And of course, we know the importance of having railway across our different states, and also, I guess, for future exports from different neighboring countries as well.
But you know that the trade union Congress questioned the federal government, saying that they are going to be borrowing money from IMF to actually construct these rail lines. We don't have potable water, we don't have good electricity, roads are death trap, and then you are thinking of building rails. And in addition to what you just said, they also responded saying that they've come into this agreement with Niger Republic in 2015, and the plan was that Niger and Niger Republic, and both of them will contribute to build the rail.
Anyway,
That's it.
Okay, let's move on to Vanguard very quickly. FG Labour adamant as court stop strike. Eze Yamu, I am not under pressure to concede defeat. Tanker tragedy, Kogi government orders full-scale investigation, declares 2-day warning. Mago, why I can't appear before Justice Alami panel. Kamal aid our fight against corruption, says Buhari. Nigerians to be affected as US moves to ban 4-year student visa for some countries. 60th anniversary, why we are celebrating despite odds, says Lai Mohammed. Let me start with the...
let me go with the human interest story. The fight in Ado Oduota in Ogun State. There was a quarrel about the land, and one side called the police. According to them, they called the police to come and stop the fight. The police now when there was a fracas, the police now started shooting and killed, they shot an Okada man, they shot about 4 people, 2 died. But the police story is totally different. That what happened was another guy, they called his name, I have to get his name for you. He took the gun from he struggled to take the gun from the policeman, and then the gun went off and killed people.
Right. But why can't that story? You know, the communities, the 2 communities have a case on a land, and then one of the communities have gotten a court judgment.
Yes.
So it's just enforcing that court judgment and, sealing off some of the houses in that area that caused the fight. I think we should.
Let me take the story on Kama again, because President was saying that, just reminding us again that Kama would enhance transparency and corporate accountability in the fight against corruption, and it would change international and domestic perception regarding Nigeria's commitment to fighting corruption and foster good governance. So it was just reiterating the importance of Kama, that it should be something that we supported. Which other story? Yes, go ahead, visa ban.
Yes, so the Department of Homeland Security in the U.S. are coming up with a new guideline that will likely give a restriction to visas of students. So they won't give you up to 4 years, but now you don't get more than 2 years for student visas. And they are saying that one of the reasons they are doing this for selected countries, which Nigeria happened to be a part of, or one of, is the fact that countries who have been listed as terrorist countries, or countries whose visitors overstay when they come into the country. So now you are likely not, if everything is finalized, you are likely not going to be getting 4 years. That means you cannot do a degree when you go into the U.S.
When you come back and
you read in your own country.
Okay, I was going to take a story on Ezeyam. Okay, he was saying, I'm surprised he hasn't considered the people. He just said that he's still studying the votes, that he's not under pressure by the party he's still studying the results and all that, and that they were saying there was a message online saying that he was putting Obaseki under pressure, who was telling Obaseki to turn to APC, and he said that's totally false. That didn't happen.
Apparently, that video was from a few months ago.
Right.
Okay.
Yes. I also showed Oshomole saying that, listen, you win some, you lose some, life goes on.
Yes, I think that should be the spirit.
I'm happy about that. Please let them move on.
Move on. Yeah.
The Guardian, over 170 million Nigerians without health insurance. Are you surprised?
Why not?
Lagos Assembly considers 21 years jail term for convicted cultists. And workers' plant strike faces integrity tests. I wanted to take that story because it says more than 170 million Nigerians are paying out of pocket to access medical services. Why can't I'm sure you and I?
Since when?
All of us have been paying out of
Since
pocket.
we were born.
Forcing households and individuals to incur catastrophic health expenditure. Trust me, it is catastrophic. And so they are trying to see how they can revive the NHIS to ensure it covers more Nigerians within their bracket. I don't know how that's going to happen, but they said they're trying to launch a scheme will fully back them. They're going to try to get the scheme back on to cover more Nigerians. I wanted to take the Lagos story because I thought it was...
There's one other...
Go ahead, please, Mariam.
No, okay, no, I think Daily Trust.
Let me move to Daily Trust very quickly before we run off. Daily Trust, major headline. You must return to old fuel price electricity tariff, says Labour. Insecurity, Nigeria's losing faith in government, says Gbajabiamila. Nigeria at 60, our unity, resilience, worth celebrating, says federal government. 8 jostle for Emir of Zazao stool. And 30 injured, 23 buildings destroyed in Lagos gas explosion.
Okay, no, there's this story that says that about 30% of truck drivers fail vision tests. This is the Corps Marshal of the Federal Road Safety Corps, Bobo Oyemi, said. And the reason I'm taking this is because of these tanker drivers and the accidents that we're having constantly. So we have about 30% of them who have failed vision tests. Then we have the Major Oil Marketers Association of Nigeria. The chairman, Adetunji Oyebanji, also said about 80% of over 10,000 trucks transporting petroleum products across the country lacked critical safety features needed for safe transportation of the products by road. I mean, this is information that we've had for a while, and then every time there's an incident or an accident, then we have these numbers coming out. What does this mean when you have information like this? What does that mean now for transportation going forward?
Right. Now, I have 2 good news from Lagos State. One, the Speaker of the House of Assembly, Mudashiru Obasa, and his colleagues are considering 21-year jail term for cultists in Lagos State, which is great news. So that means that if your child is caught, he or she is gone for 21 years once convicted. Wow. And that good news from Lagos State, they're considering it, but that would be good news.
But
then the governor is also promising tax holiday for private sector on road project collaboration. Now, Access Bank supported the Lagos State government in renovating certain roads in Victoria Island, and they're saying they're asking for more private sector partnership, and when you do that, you get an opportunity to have that tax holiday, which I think is a good idea. It's a good deal. So if you are those companies that are strong enough, please support Lagos State government, because those inner roads we need, especially my streets. My streets needs to be fixed, please.
You are private sector now. Carry your road.
I'm worried about the cultists because you know the process of picking up boys on the road who probably have dreadlocks.
It's
on
convicted when they are convicted.
We need to follow through that process.
After they convicted in the courts, you know,
the conviction process.
Police can call anybody.
Exactly, cultists.
But there'll be investigation now. They'll call you, but doesn't mean once they investigate.
I hear you.
Please, let us not lose. Listen, we're in the Nigeria 60 mood.
Okay, let's celebrate Nigeria.
Let's wear on that celebration. You know,
Let's celebrate the good and the bad. Let's celebrate the good and talk about the bad. Because you cannot celebrate the good without talking about the bad.
Okay. So
you are being an ostrich if you do that.
Yeah, but can we take a period to celebrate the good? Because we're always talking about the bad.
Yes.
Which bad?
Every day we talk about the bad.
Let's go on a break. We wanted to talk about some really nice stories, but unfortunately, with another explosion,
another bad.
It's difficult to be talking about celebration and nice things. So let us...
so you know.
Yes, now. So we'll discuss the issue of the explosion that happened. We get an update from LASEMA and a few other regulatory bodies. And going forward, we'll now discuss, we ask Nigerians if they are truly interested in going to the streets on Monday. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back. Welcome back to Your View.
Thanks for staying with us. So, as we said, Fridays, our heroes of the week. So today, Your View, we're celebrating a motorcyclist, or we call them Okada man, in Oghara area of Delta State, Augustine Ogun, who recently returned a bag containing 700,000 naira belonging to a woman he had carried to the market. This woman went to the market. She was crying like a baby when she realized that she lost that money. Just for her to see that Mr. Austin brought the money to her, she was so elated. Today, the ladies of Your View and I are giving it up for Mr. Augustine Ogun. Congratulations to you. And I think a few businessmen have celebrated him in Delta State. He's being celebrated for the good work he's done. That's the woman. She was so excited. You can imagine if that 700,000 naira was missing.
All her investments.
Like an entire life. You know, that's a good man right there.
Thank you so much, Mr. Augustine.
He's a great man.
I mean, we just have to say it.
Yes.
Because what he did, look at the woman, look at how happy she is.
Yes.
I mean, he's a great guy.
Yes. So we are so excited. We have him on the phone. Mr. Augustine, are you there? Wow.
That one.
Mr. Augustine, are you there?
Hello.
Good morning, sir.
Morning, madam.
We are celebrating you today on Your View because of what you did. We believe is heroic.
Yes.
Tell us exactly what happened for those of us that have no idea about this story.
For what is happening?
What happened?
So the noise of motor too much for this place.
Oh, I think it's in a noisy place.
Hello?
Yes, we are hearing you, sir. Go ahead.
Okay. Okay, can I talk to you?
In Pidgin.
What
happened?
Yes, what happened? Go tell us.
Okay, something when it happened is that I'm a Okada man.
Yes.
Okay.
I am Augustine Ogun, speaking from Agakbere Mara, Oghara, West.
Yes.
I'm carrying a lady, that lady is market woman.
Yes.
Carry to market. So as I got the woman finished, I couldn't know that the woman left 700,000 back of my machine. I don't even know. So I still use the money to carry, the machine to carry another passenger. Can you hear me?
We can hear you. Yes, we can hear you very clearly.
Yeah. When I carry the passenger, when I just passenger finish, when I want when I want to, I go see a bag for back of my machine. I asked him, Madam, are you the owner of this bag? Why not carry your bag come up from the machine? He said, the one told me that this got a slow bag. I said, Madam, you are not the one who get the bag. I said, no. But when I got check into the bag, I saw a money inside the bag. Myself, I was be thinking, because I don't know the person, the owner of the bag. But I can't remember say that I carry one woman just now. I said that woman will get this money. So after everything, Ahmad was telling me 2 months come enter my body. Carry this money, go back, because already, carry and go out. Because already that time when I don't suffer too much. The same say God don't do it for me. Say, he suffer when I suffer before, God don't do it for me. What cause it? My mind goes to tell me, say, this money, they are not my money. Let all this money go back to the owners. Because he knows I'm a Christian. I'm steady when I started.
Yes.
So after everything, then my cousin tell me, say, you remember what he thought of this?
So how did you know? So when you got to the market, how did you find the woman?
Yeah, when I read, before I got to the woman was declining, ready to die. He ready to die, said to die because of this money. But when the woman saw me, all the market women came to me, playing for me, say, God, you are good. Okada man, you are a good person.
Yes, you
That's
are.
what the market woman begin to
Okay.
Thank you.
Has anybody in the government reached out to you? Has anybody come to you to at least thank you monetarily for this?
No.
Not yet.
The woman gave me 1,000 naira. I begin to happy too. Because the woman, she will be telling me that it's not the owner of the money. Say, he borrowed that money, take trade the market. He gave me 1,000 naira. I'm still happy about that 1,000 naira.
Thank you so much for joining us this morning.
Yeah.
The blessing will do. The prayer where that woman we don't pray for you, go do good for you. You be a good person.
We serve, they pray for you.
Amen.
We serve, they pray for you. Say, now up, you go, you know, come down, relax.
Amen.
So we appeal to anybody, especially in Delta State, especially if they can reach out to him. People like that should be encouraged.
Yeah.
Yes, so it's not always all about money, but sometimes people like that need to be encouraged, because when we see good things being done, we acknowledge it and celebrate it, so we can encourage others to do the same. So congratulations to Mr. Augustine Ogun for what he has done. And that woman also, congratulations to her. She's watching television today.
I think
The woman who rejected the bag and said it's not my bag is also another person that we should call.
But she didn't know what was in it.
They don't need to know.
I'm
They
just
can
saying,
just take it.
yeah, but you know, very good that we're shining light on things like this. I've heard many of these stories actually, and because we don't really shine the light, it seems like Nigerians don't do this.
Yeah.
I've heard people on bikes, in taxis,
Airports,
do this. So this is how a Nigerian behaves.
Yes.
These are Nigerians. These are our values. We are honest people. We are good people.
Yes.
And thank you for further showing that.
Also, the government should reach out and so that it's encouraged, give him a reward. If the Delta State government, anybody who is listening that is in government, even if it's Lagos State, I think that someone like Austin should be given some acknowledgement.
Yeah. I'm also happy that, being good is not just about education. Look at how he spoke. He was good from the core, from the inside. So you don't have to wait till you get to a certain level to show goodness. In your little corner, just be as good as you can.
Fantastic. And I'd like to reiterate what Mariam said. Like Nigerians, we are good people. Yes, there are lots of bad people out there, but many of us are actually good. No matter how, from the highest to the lowest, there are good people amongst us, and we must celebrate them. Let's go on a break. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back. Welcome back to Your View.
Thanks for staying with us. So yesterday, after discussing the tanker explosion that happened in Felele at Kogi State, late yesterday evening, another explosion rocked Lagos State, Iju-Ishaga, which was caused by a gas explosion resulting from an accident involving a truck conveying gasoline. Now, the question is, when will all this stop? At what point do we begin to take the right measures? Joining us on the show now is the Director General, Lagos State Emergency Management Agency, Dr. Femi Okeosoyintolu, to give us an update on the situation of things at that at the place of the incident. Sir, are you there? Thanks for calling. Dr. Soyintolu, are you there? Are you there?
I'm there.
Yes,
Good
yes.
morning.
Good morning. Good to have you. So you were there. Lasema obviously was there at the incident. Tell us exactly what you saw and the real cause of the accident.
Well, at 3:30 p.m. yesterday, we were called on our emergency number, and we activated the emergency response plan of the Lagos State. All the primary responders moved to the scene. And when we got there, we discovered that the cause of the inferno was due to the leakage of gas from a tanker that is carrying a 30-ton LPG. And what really caused it was that the tire of that tanker burst and ignited the gas that was leaking from the tank. And this was what led to the explosion. It affected 25 buildings. It affected 15 vehicles. Among the buildings that was affected was an event center, a market that has 15 shanty shops selling plants, and we have 30 casualties, 20 males, 10 females, out of which 2 are critically injured. The 2 that were critically injured were transferred to General Hospital for adequate treatment. 16 were also moderately affected, and those ones were treated, but they were advised to go to General Hospital later for further checkup. 12 were mildly affected, and they were treated on spot and discharged. And when we commenced the operation, within 1 hour, we were able to be on top of it, and we put up the fire.
Okay, all right.
The place has been cordoned up. We have informed necessary ministry agency to look at the situation holistically. The Ministry of Justice is working on it. The Safety Commission is working on it.
All right, we get all right.
We will prevent such occurrence.
Right. Okay,
but
thank you.
I appeal to the people of Lagos State to remain calm.
Right.
That Mr. Governor, Mr. Babajide Olusola Sanwo-Olu, has put a necessary measures in place.
Sir.
But
Sir, so we've been hearing when such incidents happen, we hear that we are putting measures in place. It's becoming, it's sounding now like a broken record, because that's the narrative that we hear all the time. And I believe that this accident could have been avoided. Yeah. So what are some of the checks that you're going to put in place going forward? Because for a tire to burst, that tire is expired already. So what are some of the measures you're going to put in place? The companies that are handling all of this truck, the safety measures they are going to put in place before they put these trucks on the road. Can we have like a list of everything that they need to check before the trucks are on the road?
Well, firstly, we must ensure that anything that we are doing, we put safety first. In as much that the government has put rules and regulations in place for our safety, we must abide with the rules and regulations of these safety measures.
All right, so I know we have an expert. Okay.
From the information that was gathered, it was gathered that the gentleman that was driving the tanker was trying to practice sharp practice, which led to leakages of his gas from the tank.
Right.
Okay. Excuse me, sir. Excuse me. I want, because it is my area, and where we stay, it was felt, the earth shook. Everywhere was dark. Right now, we don't have lights because all the poles, electric poles, because when you mentioned everything, you didn't mention the electric poles. So nobody in that area has NEPA right now. So we don't even know when NEPA is going to repair the poles, how long we're going to be without light for. So my question to you now is, what are we going to do about these kind of places that are put in residential areas?
Okay, let me...
gas plants.
Our guest has been disconnected, but I'd like you to pose that question to our expert, because unfortunately the last time guy just got disconnected on the phone, so he's no longer there. So let's bring in our safety expert, Ayodeji Bakare. Good morning, Mr. Ayodeji. Are you there?
Yes, I'm here.
Okay, good to have you on. So Waike was asking about these plants that's been installed in residential areas. Waike, you want to complete the question?
I was saying these gas plants, they are in residential areas. If there's one opposite our house, if that one should explode, our house will become affected. So people are being affected by. It's the same thing with petrol stations. Yeah. Why are they put in residential areas?
Okay, so I'll let you answer that, Mr. Bakare, and the DG Lasema is also back, so he also answer the same question. Yes, go ahead, Mr. Bakare.
Okay, thank you very much for this opportunity, and good morning to all Nigerians. Now, what I'd like to say is that the fault actually is in the policies and all the guidelines. Like if you look at the DBR guidelines, for example, of citing, it is very appalling in the sense that
I'm getting feedback. Mr. Bakare, we can't hear you. There's a lot of feedback. There's a bit of echo from you. Maybe we'll try to get the technical guys to help us adjust it. But let me move over to the DG, Lasema. Are you there, sir? Dr. Osanyitolu, are you there?
I'm there.
So Waike asked earlier that, okay, I know you're Lasema, your job is an emergency, but could you give us a perspective on why these plants are situated in residential areas? That's a serious problem.
Now, there are two things that you need to really appreciate concerning siting of these gas plants. Firstly, you have to realize that all this LPG, all this oil, they are on the purview of the federal government, which are going to certify them before they could be sited. But however, concerning the location where they were sited, it rests on the state government in terms of the Ministry of Physical Planning and the Building Controlling Agency, the LAPCA, and the Building Planning Agency. Now, these critical agencies are going around to enforce, to check the permits of these people, because we have discovered that 60% of these people, they do not have permits to start their factory or their plant in where in where it was established.
No permits.
So, however, the enforcement unit of Ministry of Physical Planning are going about to ensure that our people comply with the rules of the land. However, the most important thing that I keep on saying and telling people is that in anything that we are doing, we should endeavor to put safety first. We should live in a responsible way. And these are the lacuna. You don't need government to ensure that you use a good tire.
All right.
You don't need government to enforce that you should maintain your brake system. These are things that you're supposed to know. You don't need
let me go on a quick break.
to ensure that your tank system is properly maintained.
All right, I need to go on a break. DG, let me go on a quick break, sir. We're running a bit out of time. Let me go on a break. We'll come back to this conversation. Stay with us. Don't go anywhere.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back. Welcome back to Your View.
Right, thanks for staying with us. So before we go ahead with our conversation, we have some great news! So I just got a text from somebody. He said he wants to be anonymous. He sent me 700,000 naira for Mr. Augustine Ogun. Thank you, Mr. Anonymous. Thank you very much.
So much.
So I'll be forwarding 700,000 naira to Augustine Ogun once I get his account number from my producer. Yay! Congratulations. Thank you very much. God bless you, Mr. Anonymous. Right, moving on now to our explosion. Mariam had a question.
Yes, but before then, see, we suffer for our fashion, but let me take this, then I can ask my question properly. Right. So, sir.
So this is now the Mr. Bakari. I have Mr. Bakari.
Okay,
DG.
Okay,
yes.
Mr. Bakari can help me with this question as well, which is why we understand that accidents happen, things like this would happen, but what are the safety measures to put in place to sort of, lessen the impact of incidents like this?
Firstly, I would like to talk about the kind of tank trucks that we have out there. So the tank trucks that we have are pretty much very outdated. They need to be upgraded. Firstly, we're talking about safety valve, pressure safety valves. So you see many times when you have this impact, if you do not have a form or way of relieving the pressure, then you get the full impact. Now you're talking about sensors also. So you're talking about overloading sensors. So when you're loading, you have your level indicators also. What does your level indicator tell you? What about the training of these tank truck drivers? the training also. That also plays a key role. So when you are talking about impact, knowing what and what not to do, and also the people in the sense that if I ask you guys a question and say, hey, if this truck is driving past you, do you know what the actual content is? Do you know what it is? Our trucks are meant to have safety symbols. These safety symbols will indicate that, hey, what is in this truck might pose a health risk, might pose a fire risk, might pose a huge explosion risk. You don't have that information. You don't even know. You don't even know if it's a carcinogenic material that is being transported. So if these tank trucks are upgraded, because the tank trucks that are out there, they are over 30 years. That is amazing. If these tank trucks are upgraded and we have tank drivers that are properly trained, I think that you have less impact compared to what we are seeing today. That's as regards the tank trucks. And also as regards the tank trucks also, it will shock you guys or amaze you guys that I looked through the DPR code and also the DPR guidelines. I was also looking at the OSHA guidelines. There is no exact guideline as regards the control or the transportation of combustible or flammable materials. It will shock you guys. Internationally, you look at the NFPA code 385. NFPA 385 talks about all of that. If you take a truck in Nigeria right now, or the trucks in Nigeria right now, and compare it with the guidelines of NFPA 385, it's going to be very sad. It's going to be very sad comparing both.
Let me pause you for a quick second. We have our correspondent, Theophilus Alama, at the venue of this incident to give us an update. Theophilus, are you there?
Yes, I am.
Theophilus, tell us, so right now, what's the update for us?
Okay, so looking at this place, I'm at Ijishaga Axis right now. The scene of the gas explosion that occurred yesterday at about 3:30 p.m. And from what we have seen on ground, it's a devastating damage. Now looking behind me, this is actually a block factory here. But you see the damage, the extent of damage is beyond here. It's quite humongous. Of course, it extends towards the other part where there's a market as well and extends further. And of course, we hear, but we've not confirmed, we hear that one person has been has died because as at yesterday, a lot of people were injured and were taken to two hospitals. That's the Fako General Hospital and one of the hospital on towards the Adjuan Axis. But at this point, we hear that one person has been confirmed dead, and of course we also hear that this explosion went too far because a tanker was standing right at this point where we are, and it of course had a leak which caused the explosion. So I would like to talk to someone an eyewitness who was here, and of course tell us what happened in this place yesterday.
At exactly 3 p.m. I was standing very close when it happened. But all of a sudden, we tried our best to let people know that this thing is going to explode, was going to explode. So, first explosion, they went afar. Second explosion, third explosion, people were very close. But all of a sudden, there's a very big difference between when you are watching films and when you see it live and direct.
Yeah.
For a tanker to explode at that very instant was very unfortunate. So somewhere along the line, when it happened, we went around trying as much as possible to help everybody we know we can help. Some are still in the hospitals. But let us thank God that everything is all right now.
Well, we hear that one person has been confirmed. Is that true?
True, yeah. Because that person was the whole body was off when we saw him. Rather an unfortunate incident. And we know that it is, we never expected this kind of a thing to happen, but it has happened. What do? We tried as much as possible to call those that are responsible, but we understand that it took them time to come to this place. If not, we never knew that it would have happened.
It took them time.
Okay, so looking at this situation, what might have happened to the tanker driver and of course his motorboy?
Yes, I think somewhere along the line, it was confirmed that the tanker driver is dead. But we don't know about the motorboy now because we have not left here since that yesterday till now.
All right.
We even left here, trying as much as possible to help those that we can be able to help.
So you say that tanker driver that is the confirmed death now?
I think the tanker driver confirmed dead. Yes, I just got my information from those that went to see for themselves. So confirmed dead. Yes, sir.
So the extent of damage. Now it went as far as even up to a particular building there. Tell us the extent.
to that extent, like as I said, when you are watching films and when you hear live and direct, it almost affected everybody. If a tanker driver with that caliber of metal could explode and go to the extent of that particular place, sir, it is not an easy experience. So I would really rather advise that whenever people see such kind of a thing, they should go very, very far.
Wow. Thank you very much for talking to me. Thank you. All right, there you have it. Of course, an eyewitness.
Thank you very much, Theophilus. Thank you very much, Theophilus. So that's the update. So let me come back to Mr. Bakari. So I'm sure you've heard what our correspondent just said, Mr. Bakari. Going back to Mariam's question, how could we have reduced the impact of this explosion if we had the right safety measures in place? Could you just give us an idea what that plant could have put in place to reduce this kind of impact?
So now, I want everyone to understand a certain concept called the vapor cloud explosion. And the vapor cloud explosion is when you have flammable materials in the air and you have the mixture of the fuel and ignition source and the fuel itself. And once it gets in between the low explosion and the upper explosion limit, kaboom, you have what you had in Abuleado. So when you're talking about safety measures, you're talking about administrative or engineering controls. What is the LDAR? LDAR is leak detection and repair. What does their instrumentation look like? So the instrumentation and the ELDAR program needs to be very, very robust in that regard. And most importantly, there's what's called the PHA. The PHA is the process hazard analysis. And I might want to peg back and go back to YK's question. YK was talking about why we have tank farms or gas plants in residential areas. Yeah. It is simply put because the process hazard analysis was not done or was done shabbishly. The process hazard analysis has what's called facility siting. And in that facility siting, it's going to tell you if this is the right place to site it. For example, let's look at Satellite Town, for example. Satellite Town has over 50 tanks in the tank farm. Imagine what will happen if there is an explosion or a certain incident. Because at the end of the day, there's what's called the blast radius and there's what's called the thermal radiation. What happened in Lebanon will be tightly compared to what may happen in Satellite Town. And according to Aloha and fast modeling simulation, you're looking at 2 kilometers, actually thermal radiation 2 kilometers from where those tank farms are. People are going to feel the burn, are going to have that burn sensation. Then imagine what the blast radius is going to look like. So when you just base everything on your EIA, the EIA is just the impact on the environment pretty much. Oh, what's going to happen to the water? What's going to happen to the trees? What's going to happen to the people inside? What's going to happen to the people outside? What about the respiratory impact, the health impact? Nigeria's life expectancy is less than 55 years. So if you are above 55 years in Nigeria, you're good, you're great. It's because of things like this, because of issues like this. We do not perform consequence analysis.
Thank you very much, Mr. Bakari. We have to hold it at this point because obviously we'll bring you back, especially because we're going to be talking about petroleum issues, explosions, and gas pipeline explosion like this. We'll be talking about it in the coming weeks, obviously for obvious reasons. I mean, we're tired of the rhetoric from the government. So when we hear experts like you speak, we need to give you the platform to explain more, educate Nigerians, educate those around us so we know exactly how to care for us. So I'll have to hold it at this point. But
I know you have to hold it, but I just need to say something. If you notice a gas plant or a petrol station opening in your area, quickly write a petition.
To DPR or
when they wanted to open one in front of Shrine like this, beside Shrine, I wrote a petition.
Let me chime in something here. These things that you're talking about should be the role of the OSH, Occupational and Safety and Health Departments under the Ministry of Labor.
We need to call them here.
That is those are the people that
are supposed to. Thank you very much, because this same labor, their only focus is don't go to strike. They want to go strike because they want them to.
It is the OSH. The OSH are a toothless bulldog.
Thank you very much, because this same labor, their only focus is don't go to strike. They want to go strike because they want them to.
It is the OSH. The OSH are a toothless bulldog. They are the ones that are in charge of this thing, not DPR, not NNPC. We are talking about lives here. People are dying. Nigerians are dying on a daily basis. Thank you very much. I have a lot to talk about, but for now, just put it on hold.
Okay, thank you very much. You're very correct.
Yes, OSH, we are calling you.
We're going to call out OSH very soon. But let's go on a break. When we come back, we'll talk a bit about the strike that ended, the labor. And I had labor, my tentacle just went off. But the labor and the TUC are saying that we should go to the streets to protest the obvious increments in electricity and petrol. Yeah. So let's go on a break. We'll hear Nigerians' views on this. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back. Welcome back to Your View.
Thanks for staying with us. So before we go into the matter of labor, we're so excited. So I've been able to transfer the 700,000 naira to our guest. Mr. Augustine Ogun, have you received the money? Mr. Ogun, are you there?
Hey.
Augustine.
They're trying to connect.
Oh, they told me he's already on. Augustine, are you there? Okay, well, so let's talk about labor while we're trying to connect with him. Now, so the Nigerian Labour Congress, they have insisted on going ahead with their earlier planned protests. And it's taking effect from September 28th, which is a Monday, following the failure of the federal government to reverse the increase in the electricity tariff and fuel price. So the question is, are Nigerians in agreement with this strike? Would it solve the problem? You can call us on 070-806-6814. You can also tweet us at TVC Connect. Please hashtag YourViewTVC so we can read your tweet. We're going to just spend a few minutes on this. So we'd like you to please call us, send in your message. Let us even know the pulse of Nigerians on this. Do you totally agree with this going to the streets on Monday? Ladies, go ahead,
So
BC.
for me, I would want to know why exactly they want to embark on the strike. Okay. I am not happy that there's an increment in the price of fuel and electricity. I'm not happy about it. It's affecting everybody, as a matter of fact. But I know that sometimes we may need to just suffer a little bit for the greater good, which I've always said and I've always believed in. Now, if they are fighting for us to start building refineries, if they are fighting to, for government to give us a plan on how we can start, refining this oil ourselves, if that is the fight that people are going out for, then I would join them. Because I understand that this is a cause for the greater good. But if you're just saying a total reversal to the old price, are we going back to paying subsidy? The government obviously does not have money for subsidy.
Exactly.
We had a budget cut at the beginning of this year, that this money will not even, we don't even know how to survive right now. A lot of states have not even been able to pay minimum wage that is, we agreed on in April, months ago. So let's be real. I want the labor to be real.
See, to add to this, there are unconfirmed reports that these marketers are so wealthy that sometimes they also instigate, they push these groups to push for, to find a reversal. Because they have money. They've been collecting subsidy for years. Yes. These are billions of naira. So how do I even know that these groups pushing for strike are working for me or working for their own interest?
That is where you want to carry, that's where me, Gongo, I want to carry it to. The last one that we all came out. When they went to go and collect settlement from behind,
did they tell you?
Did they tell us? Oh. They didn't tell us. They went, settled with the government, then we now seem stupid.
Right.
Apart from that, we did not even have enough information before we all went out that the subsidy was killing us.
Yes.
So we all went out, and now it's happened again. Now they will all come out again. They will collect settlements. They will come and be the ones that are foolish. It is us that we arrest on the streets. No way.
So you're not going to the streets. You're not going to
Which
the
streets?
Okay.
Which streets? The streets where there was a gas explosion in my area?
Oh, Lord.
Well, interest, thank you,
They didn't even come and protest. These explosions.
We have explosions. The people that are affected by explosions are also workers.
Yes.
They are workers. You've not protested that you are not putting the proper safety hazards to protect me as a citizen.
Yes,
we've not seen that protection. We've not seen that protest. We've not seen a protest foreigners taking over some of our jobs. We don't see them protesting, but when it comes to fuel subsidy matter, Labour comes up.
Or China.
Yeah.
Yes. They say we have been sold to China. They didn't protest that one.
Okay, let me come to Mara because we all can. Okay, so let me hear you.
So there are two sides to this. On the face of it, Labour seems to want to do this for our good. On the face of it, so they're saying, see, you've just increased minimum wage to 30,000 naira. And all these tariffs, it does not make, there's no difference anymore. So we've gone back to square one. Nigeria is saying, federal government is saying, okay, we hear you, but this is the dilemma we have right now. We cannot afford to keep paying subsidy. We cannot afford to pay GENCOs. This is what needs to be done. We have to do this. So for me, we need to have a balance. They need to come to a compromise. For the marketers, see, these are people's businesses. They have built their wealth, they've built their businesses, they have sent their children to school and so many things. They have employed people doing this business. So it's a valid business. But the thing is now, I think you should sit down with the marketers, federal government, and look for different ways to do your business. Because this is the climate that we are in right now, and Nigeria needs to tighten its belt. Yes, so the marketers need to look for different ways to now do their business, invest in other things, in agriculture and so many others, so that Nigeria as a whole can benefit and not just a small group of people.
What ticked me as a person off is that if Labour comes out and say, we are protesting the fact that they've not built refineries. We are protesting that the fact that, just what you said, Nigerians can't afford to pay because of the 30,000 minimum wage. I get you. But when you start insisting on the reversal, you tick Nigerians off. Because reversal is a no-no for us. Yes. Because these few marketers cannot continue to collect these billions. So when you are insisting on subsidy, on reversal, I get a light bulb effect that, okay, what is this really, truly about? But if we say and we demand, we go on the streets to demand, give us a plan to fix the refineries. Give us a plan that you're going to give us palliatives. Whilst you are reducing subsidy, what are you going to give Nigerians in the interim? Let's demand that. But which one is telling us reversal? I don't understand that reversal.
They didn't strike when they were killing people in Boko Haram. They didn't come out. Is it not Nigerians dying in the northeast?
2 weeks ago, the federal government talked about the fact that they are working on an alternative to PMS, which is the gas, so that you can get it cheaper for about 90 naira. Are we having this protest to say, okay, when is this starting? They also promised us that they were going to convert our cars to make it dual purpose for free. Are we having a protest on when are you starting this? So that hold on. So that for people who cannot pay.
Well, we should think that way.
I don't want my car to explode. Is it not Nigeria where they're not checking things?
We've run out of time, guys. We have to but I think I'm told that we have Mr. Augustine online. Mr. Augustine, are you there?
Yes,
have you seen your money? You don't get alerts.
Good morning, madam.
You don't get alerts.
Alerts. Have you gotten the money?
Yes, I'm already seeing it.
Yay!
You know they're happy or you supposed to jump now.
You
suppose they jump, suppose they're happy.
You can hear his voice, he's happy. We thank God.
And go all those your neighbors, we go say when you buy drink for them, no buy drink for them. Money na for business. Use and do something good, eh?
Yes, ma'am.
All right.
Thank you.
Take the money. You and your wife this night. No, not just. No, not day. No, not day. Yeah. God bless you. And just continue to do good, eh?
Yes.
Also you people, madam. Also you people.
Thank you.
God provide your fiddle.
Amen.
With all of us.
Amen.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr.
Enjoy. All right. All right, have a wonderful. So we're so happy about that. That's such great news.
Explain what you just said. Make una day. What's the meaning of make una day?
Mariah, let's move on.
Today is Friday.
Let's move on.
We didn't have fun today.
Let's move on.
Make una day. Why make una day? What do you mean by that? Please speak English. Make una day wetin?
Money go dey road now. Money don't dey pocket. Wetin dey talk?
Hey, why can still don't?
I don't understand what you just said, honestly.
It's Fiji.
Anyways,
put your ring back on your nose. You understand?
Let us thank our anonymous again, so that more money can come.
Thank you,
Mr. Anonymous. Thank you very much. Thank you very much for
so many
this.
Nigerians like that anonymously doing good things for people. Yes.
I posted his account number on our Twitter page, so anybody who wants to
support him. Let Mr. Ogun buy house. Let him blow. Let him blow. Send money small. We've tweeted his account number, so if you want to support, please go ahead and support him. Have a fabulous weekend. We'll see you next week. Bye for now.